Hello everyone and welcome to another spoiler talk. Today we are talking about the Demigod Diaries, which I am about to write my review for, probably in a couple minutes here. I finished it today. This is terribly framed. Hold on, I can do a little bit better. There we go. Let's maintain some sort of professionalism. First off, like usually we start with my background information about how I discovered the book. This is some pretty, it's like this is just like extra goodness, like chapters within the Percy Jackson universe. Grew up on Percy Jackson. I love the Heroes of Olympus too. Obviously not quite as much. There are some problems. But I love the whole universe. I love the characters. I love everything. Grew up on the books. My writing career began with Percy Jackson fanfic. So, like, if that doesn't say something right there. And so, obviously, I just, like, had to get this book. Eventually, I finally just caved in and just bought it for, like, $6 on eBay. And now I get to finally read it. And, I'm going to talk about some of the stories and some of the goodness that's in here. Let's probably just go to the table of contents. That'd be a good place to start. Basically, from the beginning, the first story, I guess, there's about like 4, I think, in here. The first one is Luke. I can't pronounce his name. Let's just call him Luke. We didn't learn his last name till the final book, so his last name doesn't matter. It's a diary, it's in diary form. It's in first person. We're going back to first person, so that was refreshing. It's basically Luke. This is when he was like on the run with Thalia, however you want to pronounce her name. I like Thalia, but he's on the road with Thalia, and they basically run into this. This is spoiler talk, so I don't need to do background information. Basically, he meets Annabelle. That's the only part that's like, big feels to the fans of the series. But we don't get to see much of that group, and they did do a lot of adventuring stuff. I want to do a whole video about why, because a lot of fans want the spin-off book with Thalia, Luke, and Annabeth, and I want to do a whole video on why that's a terrible idea. But that's what fans of the series get. To be honest, even that was a little bit boring. I did like how his sacrifice and all that. It was something. I liked seeing Luke and getting something from his perspective. I like that it wasn't just like pouty, oh, my dad doesn't love me, Luke. It was when he was good, but he's bad, and he's Luke, and he's not a total dickhead like he is in some books towards the middle of the Percy Jackson series. And I like seeing Thalia, I like seeing Annabeth for the short time she was in the story. We finally got the scene where they meet, even though we know everything that happens in the scene, so it doesn't really matter that much. After that, this book has a lot of pictures. We get a picture of house. If I can find it, god damn it. A lot of pictures. We'll go over like the artworks of the characters in a minute here. But basically, if I can find this fucking picture of House Place, it doesn't matter. It's in the book. Look it up online. Well, no, because now I found it. It's House Place. It's a pretty shitty place. I imagine it's just filthy from him living in there all the time, in the one room. He lives in the house that one movie's about, Monster House or whatever. And then we got Percy Jackson and the staff of Hermes. Hermes loses his. It alludes to what was at this time already happening, so it wasn't like any big mysteries there. It was just fun, random adventure. Persebeth. I'm sure at the time it was like really refreshing because I think this one, like Annabeth and Percy were still like disconnected if you read them chronologically. I'm sure some people are like, oh, this takes me back to when things were nice. But, there was a lot of Percabeth fan service in the sequels, and overall, I think just the couple has ran its course, and they've, I still don't like how I'm framed, hold on. I think, like, I didn't need any more fan service, but it's nice, I love these characters, I can't get enough of them, so I like seeing them again. They had the most fun banter. There's another just stupid fucking giant that's beat him using logic and some, like, it's the same fucking shit. Like, it's nothing like special. There's more Hermes. I don't know. And then they went to Paris in the end, which was so fucking cheesy, but it was whatever. They get to go wherever they want. There was an interview with Hermes, Snakes, George, and Martha. That was, I couldn't stop cringing. And then we have these pictures. I'm gonna review every single picture because I have a lot to say about each of them. One, you got Talia. And first off, they basically, like, Rick basically wrote it in, like, oh, Talia, she's, being, like, her picture's being drawn. So that kind of says all these characters are having their pictures drawn. So was Luke that's how he poses for pictures? Just looking creepily into the camera, holding a sword? I'll start with Talia. One, she looks really young. I remember when I first saw this picture, like, online, I was like, goddamn, she looks like the one chick from fucking Big Hero 6. I haven't seen the movie yet, but she looks just like her. And she looks like she's 12, which I'm pretty sure is when this, like, took place. And, I imagine her as a 16-year-old, if not older, because she's past that age at this point. Especially by the end of Heroes of Olympus. So, like, seeing this 12-year-old girl, even though she does have cool clothes and kind of, like, how I would imagine her, it's a little but I otherwise think this picture of her, like, not, these are official, like, it's a fucking book. What you put in your mind is ultimately what it is. We got a picture of Hal, even though who really gives a fuck. I'm sorry. We got an official picture of Luke, about what I'd expect him to look. His hair is very pointy, and he looks very... Okay, the pictures of Annabeth and Percy, I hate them both. I really do. One, because they look like they're 12, which, again, that's when the series started. I don't care. They look like idiots. I'm sorry. Percy, even the cover Lightning Thief, he looks like a badass in that photo. I was like, I wonder what his front looks like. He looks, I can't take that seriously because he has badass moments, and I just picturing that face when he's, like, doing these, like, in the river Styx and all that. I'm just like, no. Annabeth, she just, like, I don't know. I just aesthetically don't like the pictures they use. As for the other three, the Lost Hero crew, we got Piper. That's really fucking good. Leo, that's really fucking good. Then you got Jason, and he kind of just looks whatever. He looks very whatever. He looks like your average fucking, I love how Rick will make every other main character like some kind of cool ethnicity, but the main character has to be white. Like, I'm not gonna, like, be that person, but, like, I love, like, everyone else can be, like, African American or, like, Spanish or Chinese Canadian, but the main character, he's gonna be white. Okay, let's just get that straightened. And then we had Leo and the quest for whatever the fuck. He has a walking table. And the woods are apparently more dangerous than I thought, because there are these like type of spirit things, and they're just fucking. This book has the cringeworthiness. Sorry, I have a lisp. of like the rest of the series, but it's like so I love the characters and like I know Rick, he fucking loves Leo like so much, I can just tell. And as from a writing stance, I know like he's probably just tired of writing the series, and any character that's a little outside the form like Leo is, I've been like I've drawn to characters outside of my own form, so I can like relate to why he would like this character. But Leo's probably not my favorite. Probably mostly just characters from the original cast are. But I still love all the new characters. The whole table thing, it's filler. I still like enjoy just seeing these characters, though. The villains, I think, are a pretty big problem just because they're not really interesting and they're immature and they always are fucking stupid. Like, that's why I really liked his son Haley. I really liked the note that we got that explained like his son is like kind of like the inspiration to the story and like the reason like the story's written. And now he's writing his own like chapter into it. And I really loved Son of Magic, which is written by his son. And you can't even, it's like almost more mature than his dad's writing. And the Son of Magic is easily kind of by far my favorite out of here. Because it answers like cool questions, which stuff like this is supposed to do. Cool little things like where did like the demigods that were fighting Kronos' army, like where did they go? Story-wise, for the PGO series, we don't need to know that. It's kind of just whatever. Like, we need the meat of the story. But for books like this, yeah, I would like to know that. Like, because I'm in a market that's a more hardcore fan, so I would just like to know shit like that. And in story form, knowing that, it's really cool. And the two characters, one Claymore, we have an adult perspective, like he's middle-aged. That like is so like for this series, which is mostly just 12 to 17-year-olds who are like still acting like 12-year-olds. It's very refreshing, and I just really love the Son of Magic. It was really and the villain wasn't fucking stupid. I liked Hecate. It kind of explained why the monsters can sense the demigods, but it was mostly just this random magic spell by the bad guy in which case you could have written it better, like, because they all basically have the same blood. It's a big incest family, but oh no, it isn't. It's kind of gross. But it doesn't count because we need some kind of romance. It's god blood. God blood isn't the same. However you want to go about it, Rick. But so basically, since they all kind of have the same blood, I could see how you like write, oh, the blood got fucked up, and now the monster can sense that blood. But yeah, Son of Magic, I really like the ending. How like, even though he died, and he's like, I wanted some kind of resolution because like his whole life he's been trying to find the answer to death, and then he just kind of, I wanted something more about that. But I still really just, I really liked, Alabaster, however you pronounce his name. He was really cool because one, he was like from the villain side, but he's human, like, because most of the bad guys in the series are bad. They're just fucking bad. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing because one, usually in stories like that, we get more emphasis on the heroes, and usually the bad guys aren't even prominent, so it doesn't really matter. So it's all the cool characters are just the good guys. But it was just really refreshing to get like this like random fucking kid from Kronos' army who normally would have just been like sliced down or ran away and never seen again, to get into his mind, get into his world, and like have a Percy Jackson story that isn't like formulaic and just kind of whatever, everything that was in Heroes of Olympus. Like, even though I love the series and there's so much good there, it was by the end very and then there was the Heroes of Olympus ending. I could make 50 videos about that, but basically Son of Magic's my favorite. I really want to see these characters almost more because they were really good. I know there are more of these. There's like the Demigod Files and there's like the Ultimate Handbook or whatever. Maybe I'll check these out. For now, I'm pretty satisfied with this. Like any fans of the series, I would recommend this if you just are just like kind of like whatever. If you didn't read Heroes of Olympus, if you didn't care enough to read that, then you probably don't need to read this. And plus, it has Heroes of Olympus stuff, so you wouldn't make a lot of it wouldn't make sense to you. And there would be spoilers, so only if you're a big hardcore fan would I recommend this. But if you are, this is a pretty good, worth it kind of book. Even though, what was it? It was $13. You are a stingy bastard. You are a stingy, greedy bastard, Rick. But I love you. Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say. Very, very nice book. I'm happy with reading it. I will go write my review for it. Yeah, happy times. Percy Jackson forever. Our 10-year anniversary for Percy Jackson was recently. I guess even though I'm late to the party, this is one way to celebrate it. Yeah, with that, guys, have a wonderful day. Please subscribe. Happy times. Keep your pens in your pockets. With that,